Alright, so we're back again with another bullet review. Today, I'm reviewing one of my probably most accurate 6mm Creedmoor bullets, and it's a bullet that you absolutely would not expect to perform as well as it does. And that is, or at least for me it does, that is the 6mm 105 grain boat-tailed hollow point match by Hornady. So this is obviously a 6mm 243 caliber Hornady bullet. So we'll get into the nuts and bolts right off here. It has a .254 sectional density. It has an advertised, the only ballistic coefficient I could find advertised was the G1, and it is at .530 G1 advertised. And I have trued this bullet all the way out to, I do believe I've actually shot it out to just beyond 1,400 yards. And my data has lined up every time I've shot this bullet. And my trued G1 is a .502, so almost .03 under their advertised, and then my G7 is a .250. So fair ballistic coefficient, 105 grains, fairly heavy, definitely optimized for a 1-in-8 twist, even though on Hornady's website it actually does not give a optimized twist. I would say the 1-in-8, but it can also be shot in anything faster than that, obviously. So this bullet is obviously 105 grain bullet. It has a fairly long bearing surface for the size of a 105 grain 6mm bullet, and it has a short, kind of a fat ogive, and this is actually advertised on Hornady's website as a secant ogive, and I do believe it's a standard script that they use for all their boat-tail hollow point matches, and some of them do have more of a secant ogive, but I would say this is without a doubt more tangent than secant, so definitely more of a radiused ogive, and that is part of the reason why it loses so much in the ballistic coefficient department. It has a very short boat tail, so overall completely a Spitzer style, but definitely not a super aerodynamic bullet. But because of that tangent ogive, it definitely allows it to be loaded in many different ways, not jump sensitive at all, and shoots great. Pretty much almost every load I've ever worked up for this has just shot lights out. I'm able to run these up to about 3,220 feet a second, and they still group one-hole groups. So another thing about this is the tip of this bullet, the me-plat, is a extremely large me-plat, so an extremely large hollow point me-plat, and it has a very large open hollow point tip, and it's fairly ununiform. So this bullet is actually a very good candidate for if you plan to tip your bullets. You could probably really squeeze a lot of performance, a lot of extra BC out of these 105 grain Hornady boat-tailed hollow points if you decided to tip these. So the item number for a 100 count box of the 105 grain boat-tailed hollow point match bullets here is number 2458. So if you want to order a 100 count box of these, obviously it's going to take a little bit of time now that shipping is taking forever. I ordered a box of bullets the other day, and or I take it back, about 2 weeks ago, and it finally arrived today. So shipping is definitely behind on especially a lot of the reloading and ammo supply places online, but you should be able to type that number, the 2458, into any search bar in any place that you buy your reloading supplies, and be able to get a 100-round box of the 105 grain boat-tailed hollow point match bullets. So, I forgot the overall length of this bullet, and it definitely varies because of how large this tip is and how uneven the tip is on these bullets. So the average overall length is 1.229 inches. This is a very, for caliber and for weight, this is a very inexpensive option if you are wanting a bullet to shoot long range, precision rifle from a 6mm and be very cost effective. So you can pick up a box of these, a box of 100 for anywhere between $21 and $26, depending on where you're shopping at. And for that price, that is a extremely good price for the performance that you can squeeze out of these. I've been, like I said, this bullet, even though it is not the highest BC, it is not the most flashy, tipped, pretty bullet, has netted some of my best accuracy, some of my absolute best loads, and some of my best long-range shots that I have done have been with this bullet in the 6mm Creedmoor here. So they also load this bullet in a factory load for Hornady. So you can buy the Hornady Black and 6mm Creedmoor, and it is loaded with the 105 grain boat-tailed hollow point bullet for anywhere between $20 and $21 a box of 20. So very inexpensive for a factory match load that performs as well as it does. So this has been my review for the 105 grain Hornady boat-tailed hollow point match. I will be here sometime in the near future doing a X-Files, a Center X-Files video on this. So I'm going to kind of run that series in junction with my bullet reviews. So when I review a bullet, then we will do a Center X-Files video shooting for score, some of the bullets that I have reviewed in the past, and we have plenty to catch up on. So I also want to say my initial plans to do bullet reviews, I had planned on one every 2 weeks, but that has proven very difficult with getting bullets in, wife, kids, full-time job, working up a solid load, collecting good data on each bullet, and then turning that all around into a full review in just 2 weeks. So I'm actually going to change that to one every month now, do my best to do one a month, and in junction with that, be doing the Center X-Files videos to go along with it. So this has been my review of the 105 grain Hornady boat-tail hollow point match. I hope if you guys are looking for a low-cost option for a very accurate, very good performing bullet for your 6mm loads, you may want to check out the Hornady boat-tailed hollow point match. I'm out.